So right now, GTA 6 is expected to release around November 2026. That date has shifted a few times already, which isn't surprising considering how massive this game is supposed to be. Rockstar has been working on it for years, and between leaks, rumors, and internal delays, it's easily one of the most anticipated games ever made. But if Rockstar follows the same formula they used with GTA 5, the launch will probably look very familiar. We'll get a huge, cinematic single-player campaign on day one. A big story, big characters, a massive world to explore, the classic Rockstar experience. And then sometime after launch, the real long-term machine kicks in, the online mode. That's where millions of players expect to spend most of their time. GTA Online turned into something way bigger than Rockstar probably imagined back in 2013. It wasn't just a multiplayer mode. It became this massive, constantly evolving platform where players created their own chaos. Over the years, we got heists, businesses, nightclubs, flying bikes, ridiculous vehicles, roleplay servers, and an entire economy that kept players logging in for over a decade. For a lot of people, GTA 5 basically became GTA Online, and naturally, people expect GTA 6 to go even bigger. But there's one thing that's very different today compared to when GTA 5 launched in 2013, and that's the legal environment around online spaces. Back then, most online games were treated pretty casually by regulators. If a game had an 18+ rating, it was basically the player's responsibility to follow it. The age verification system was usually just a pop-up asking you to enter your birthday. Everyone knows how that worked. You just typed in a different year and moved on. But over the last decade, governments around the world have started looking at online platforms very differently. Adult content, social media, gambling mechanics, and user-generated content have all become political topics. And now some of that regulation is starting to reach video games. Several countries have introduced or proposed laws that require platforms hosting adult-restricted content to verify the age of their users in a much more serious way. Originally, these laws were aimed at explicit websites, but the wording in many cases is broad enough that mature-rated, multiplayer games could fall into the same category. And that's where something like GTA 6's online mode becomes interesting. If regulators decide that an 18+ online game needs proper age verification, then the old enter your birthday system probably won't cut it anymore. Instead, players could be asked to go through real identity checks before they're allowed to access online servers. That could mean things like uploading a government-issued ID, a passport or driver's license, to prove your age. In some systems, it could involve third-party verification companies that check your identity against public records. Some proposals even include facial recognition checks, where you scan your face with your phone camera and match it against your ID. Other systems might use credit cards or banking verification to confirm that the account holder is an adult. If these kinds of systems end up applying to gaming platforms, then companies like Rockstar, Sony, Microsoft, and Valve could all be forced to integrate them for mature-rated multiplayer games. Which means that when players launch GTA 6 online for the first time, instead of jumping straight into chaos, they might hit a screen asking for identity verification. Imagine loading up GTA 6 on release week, and before you can join a server, you asked to upload a passport, take a selfie video, and approve biometric data storage. That would definitely change the vibe. Some countries are already pushing hard in this direction. Australia has been one of the most aggressive when it comes to online age verification laws. Politicians there have argued that services hosting adult content should be required to actively block minors rather than relying on simple checkboxes. In public discussions, video games often come up alongside social media and adult websites. So if a massive 18-rated multiplayer game like GTA 6 is running servers accessible to Australian players, regulators could easily start asking how Rockstar is making sure underage users aren't getting in. The United Kingdom is also moving towards stricter online safety rules. A lot of the attention is focused on social media platforms and harmful content, but the legislation is written broadly enough that interactive entertainment can be included, especially when it involves violence, sexual themes, gambling-like mechanics, or user-generated content. And GTA basically checks all of those boxes. Now, on paper, age verification might sound like a small technical step, but in practice it runs into a lot of real-world complications. People play games casually. They play across multiple devices. They share consoles and households. They make multiple accounts. Not everyone is comfortable handing over personal documents to a game company or some third-party verification service they've never heard of. Even if the system works perfectly, some players will simply refuse on principle. Others might run into technical issues. Verification systems sometimes fail. Cameras don't work. Documents get rejected. Infrastructure isn't reliable in every region. For a portion of the player base, the decision could become very simple. If playing online requires uploading personal identity data, they just won't bother. And then there's another reality that everyone quietly knows about GTA. A lot of its audience has always been younger than the official age rating. Teenagers have been playing GTA for decades. That's just the truth. Stricter verification systems could actually block that group entirely from official servers. From a regulator's perspective, that's exactly the goal. But from Rockstar's perspective, it potentially reduces the long-term player base that keeps an online ecosystem alive. Now, the good news for anyone worried about all this is that the core single-player game probably won't be affected in the same way. If you buy GTA 6 and just want to play the story, explore the map, and enjoy the campaign offline, that experience should work pretty much the same as it always has. Retailers already enforce age ratings when selling games, and most platforms don't require heavy identity verification for offline content. So the single-player side of GTA 6 will likely remain the classic Rockstar experience. Buy the game, install it, and play. Meanwhile, the online world might feel more like entering a tightly controlled nightclub where you have to show ID before you're allowed inside. And that could lead to an interesting shift in how people approach the game. For years, GTA Online became the main attraction, while the story mode almost felt like the opening act. But depending on how these regulations evolve, GTA 6's single-player campaign might actually become the main reason many people buy the game, with the online mode treated more like an optional extra instead of the center of the experience, which would be a pretty big change from the GTA era we've been living in for the last decade. If you enjoyed this video and you want the latest GTA news, leaks, and updates, make sure to like and please subscribe to my channel, because we cover everything happening in the GTA world.